Okay. Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you're doing well. Straightforward intro here. Billboard. You know them. You love them. They have come through with a staff list of the 500 best pop songs just ever. I don't know if you guys know this, but pop, pretty big genre of music. I wonder if I'm even gonna pick up on some of the tracks that are inevitably going to be left out of this list. But either way, 500 best pop songs, insane concept. Let's see if the list actually ends up being great or kind of trash. Really kicking things off with one of the most annoying and overplayed songs of all time. That's really just like kind of a novelty dance track. I mean, look, I'm not going to deny that like the Macarena was fun to do and listen to at the time that it dropped. I feel like we could have gone without the Macarena. Maybe that's just me. Tommy Two-Tone Jenny! This track is fire. This needs to be higher. 8675309. Bismarcky, Just a Friend. I love this track. It is one of my favorite songs of all time, just in terms of, a fun, heartbreak type of love story. But like, it's a hip hop song, and hip hop is certainly a part of pop culture, but what are the boundaries? What are the criteria here for what makes a pop song, I guess? Is it an aesthetic or a genre sort of thing, or are we just kind of shortening it for popular song, and any popular song has the ability to get on here? Seems like it's more the latter. You know, this Right Said Fred song may be corny and it may be silly, and Drake may have in a way made it seem even worse than it is with the way he interpolated it on one of his latest singles. But like, I'm sorry, this is one of the most crazy and essential dance songs of the 90s, period. Even if it is a novelty cut. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have spoken about this song numerous times on multiple videos, just to point out that this track is garbage. This is one of the worst songs of all time. Yummy, I got love in my tummy and I keep on loving you. No, this is trash. This is terrible. Like, not only is it a bad song, period, but I often use this track as an example when you have, these born in the wrong generation types who are like, oh, music lyrics suck now. Music is trash. Like, what happened to deep lyrics from back in the day? Okay, look at this major top 10 hit called Yummy, Yummy, Yummy that handily has lyrics that are far worse than almost anything you could listen to today. This song is inane. It is trash. It is disgusting. It is so stomach-churningly corny. I can't believe it made it onto the airwaves. If society at large had any sort of justice or taste, this would have been prevented in some way, shape, or form, and it wasn't, and it's because we're in the wrong timeline. And I'm going to say the opposite here. I was born in the right generation because I didn't have to live through this. This song is just, a retrospective memory for me, a relic of the past, and I would hate to think how my life would be if I actually had to live through this thing, being a new song and being on the airwaves. It takes two to make a thing go right. Essential hip hop and dance fusion, and also like you got to give it to this track for the Think About It break. Girl from Ipanema, again, loving the fact this is kind of a branching out a bit. We're touching down on some bossa nova, some very essential bossa nova. Fire so far picks on the list. The Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber Stay. I'm sorry, this track is mid, and unfortunately, to my ears, in many respects, it's just riding the 80s revival wave that The Weeknd set into motion. No, not Tiger Rack City. CeCe Peniston, yes. Modern English, I'll stop the world and meld with you. Flo Rida and T-Pain, Low. The heat on this list. Low, getting low, I go low. I go low. Whoa. Love that chorus. Could sing it all day. You have so much pop music to choose from. And we're going to go with Maroon 5. Like, even on a list of 500, it's a waste of space. It's a waste of space. Chief Keef and Lil Reese's I don't like. I could see, and I'm fine with numerous just like straight up hip hop tracks landing on this list. Seeing that they like made it into the top 10 and stuff like that. For sure, this is a pretty essential drill song for the genre generally, but like, Should this be on a pop list? Even one with 500 tracks on it? No, I'm sorry. No, it's not a pop song. Like, not only is it just not a pop song in spirit, but it's not even as popular a song as I think a song should be to like land on this list. Ike and Tina, Proud Mary, their version of the John Fogerty song, makes more sense and is also fun as hell. One of the best hootin', hollerin', rockin', soulful good times that I've ever had listening to a popular track. I mean, aside from some sort of, cringe recent choices over here, generally the choices here, fire. Shame that this only peaked at number 98, but I am and forever will be a big advocate for New Order supremacy. And on top of that, like, is Blue Monday going to be on this list? Like, way higher? It should be. Push it. And I ran. I love it when you call me big pop. Crazy little thing I love. God, this is insane. Just my brain is like malfunctioning just thinking of the choruses of all these tracks. Smash Mouth All-Star, not in the top 10! Rest of the list, invalid, especially considering, like, and I've talked about this track before, this Teo Cruz track, Dynamite, awful song. Some of the worst pop and dance production you'll hear in the 2010s. This is trash, should not be on the list. It's aged like fucking milk. Get it out of here. Not everything that makes it into the top 10 is good. There are some things that get popular that we can regret. We can regret things. It's fine. Societally, we can acknowledge that we've made mistakes, and letting Dynamite get to number 2 is one of them. However, the Captain and Tennille, Love Will Keep Us Together, is not one of them. That is a beautiful track, a fun track, and as a society, I feel like we should acknowledge that, soft rock had its moments. Gwen Stefani, Hollaback Girl, it is a banger. I'm not going to deny that, but I feel like Billboard bringing up this picture, and there's not a photo with every single song inclusion here. They're just going to get more people on Twitter like getting up Gwen's ass about the cultural appropriation of this era in her career, and some of the commentary she made during this time, it's weird. It's weird. Isaac Hayes' theme from Shaft being right under Plain White Tees, Hey There Delilah, does not sit right with me. It does not. She's a brick house. Someone like you. 291, La Rue, Bulletproof. It's a fire placement. I wish La Rue had a longer run, but Bulletproof is an excellent moment from that time. Yes! At night, I think of you. Not only is this one of the best dance songs of the 90s, but I love how on the list here it says the peak it hit was 27, but in 2016. So the track is like seeing a resurgence. That's awesome. And there are so many newer songs in the hip hop and pop space that I feel like borrow from this track, be it like the melody or just like kind of the galloping rhythm that it has in the background. Like, this song has a very, very, very specific rhythm and groove to it that I just hear repeated again and again and again in a lot of tracks. I mean, Hey Jude, it's one of the best, most epic, and most popular ballads of all time. You can't really fault putting it on a list like this, but I think you can place it too low, which it is here. Every Breath You Take, love it. It's a classic song, but I'm going to say this, it's creepy as hell. Tracy Chapman, Fast Car. This one's seeing a big resurgence too. Also, as I was saying earlier, Chubby Checker, The Twist, Ray Charles, Hit the Road Jack, and then Ray Sremmurd, Gucci Mane, Black Beatles. Again, that juxtaposition just doesn't sit right with me for whatever reason. One of those is very much more mid, and yet it comes higher on the list. Saigon Gangnam Style. I mean, not that it doesn't deserve to be here in some form or fashion, but how did this not land like down near the Macarena? Like, that's where it should be. It's fun. It's got a banger beat. It's a silly good time. But is it on the songwriting level of Hey Jude? No, stop it. Also, Crank That Soulja Boy. There are some songs here that, like, sure, they're popular. Sure, they're hot. It was a number 1 song. But, like, we need a separation here between what is, like, great songwriting talent and what is just like a novelty, silly dance song that like was popular because it's almost like societally a meme. Crank That Soldier Boy, I'm sorry, is not on the level of Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. The Chainsmokers, like more than halfway through the list, stop. This should be illegal. Also with the Santana and the Rob Thomas, like again, I know it was really popular, #1 song, one of the biggest tracks of the 90s, but we don't need to give it accolades just because it was popular at one time. We can regret it. We can look back on these things and say, you know what? That was a mistake. That shouldn't have happened. That was like, you know, a blemish culturally during that time. 96 Tears, honestly, one of the coolest and weirdest little garage rock songs that made it to #1 and just not appreciated enough, especially in today's day and age. So honestly, kind of fire that they put it here in the top 200. Juice WRLD, Lucid Dreams, fire track, should be here. In the top 200, I wouldn't say, but yeah. One of the best R&B songs of the 90s, period. I'll make love to you like you want me to. Yeah, living La Vida Loca. It's just that 90s Latin pop dance fusion. And you know, this is more valid than freaking Smooth. And Lord, this is reminding me, like, we better not see Mambo #5. If we see Mambo #5 on this list, I'm gonna go fucking ballistic. Steve Lacy, Bad Habit. Wow. As the blurb here says, big breakout hit. And I think it's cool that we get some recommendation here of like the modern internet-based bedroom pop rock movement that Steve has very much been a part of. Billie Eilish, Bad Guy. I mean, I love the song. I love the track, and I think Billie Eilish is one of the most interesting pop artists of this current generation. I don't know if I would rank Bad Guy this high, but like, can't deny it's an incredible song. And aesthetically and emotionally, it's just representative of like this new, somewhat darker wave or darker streak, you could say, that there is in a lot of modern pop music. You know, to go on a bit of a tangent here, I think Billie is a representation of, you know, women in pop music, especially young women in pop music, having a bit more agency over their aesthetics and the way that they are perceived, and they sort of, you know, I guess deliver themselves to the public in ways that don't pigeonhole them purely into whether or not they have a high or low level of sex appeal. Happy to see this. Single Ladies not in the top 50? Like, it's a top 50 song at the very least, and I feel like even that is like, you know, being a little easy there. Harry Styles, As It Was, it's a huge track. Obviously it's popular, but I feel like it was so popular because it's just so bland and agreeable. It's just okay. It's so pillowy and so soft, and you can replay it as many times as you want and not really get sick of it because it's not demanding that much of your attention. It's just very synthy. It's very washed out. There's not a whole lot of flavor to it. It's just okay, we're getting into the top 100 here. Party rock. I feel like the party rock fans are really gonna come for me in the comments, but again, I think silly, goofy novelty songs should just rank a little bit lower. Any number of artists that we've seen so far, Beatles, Dionne Warwick, Nirvana, should be higher than party rock anthems. Sorry if that's a radical opinion. Whoa! Top 100, Fetty Wap, Trap Queen. It's one of the biggest and most fun and most melodic and anthemic trap hits of all time that actually does have like super wide, super huge pop appeal. Justin Bieber and Ludacris, baby. We can't ignore it historically, but it didn't need to be number 89. Especially since it wasn't even a #1 song. Come on, give me a break. What Makes You Beautiful, low-key, lyrically, this song's kind of disgusting. Shouldn't have been this high. Like, the girl doesn't know that she's beautiful, and that's part of what makes her beautiful. Male manipulator. Nice. Top 100, really throwing it to the new wave. Don't You Want Me? Classic track, amazing track. Also, Hotline Bling. It's a bop and a half. One of Drake's best tracks. We're in the top 50 now. We're really getting to some of the most overplayed tracks of all time, but still, you know, respectable, still decent. Wonderwall, Heart of Glass, Tainted Love. As huge and as big and as popular and as inescapable as a lot of Katy Perry stuff was in the early 2010s, so much so, it was kind of impossible to imagine that there would be an era where like Taylor Swift is a bigger star than Katy Perry. I just don't feel like a lot of her older stuff has aged super well. I feel like by modern pop standards and in versatility generally, it's kind of bland, it's kind of basic, it's just okay. The formulas are obvious in a way. that feels almost like a little too rudimentary. And look, there's a lot of pop music that I think you can listen to again and again. You can chew over and, you know, still enjoy with almost the same intensity that you did when you first heard it. I think, you know, Teenage Dream, this era, Dark Horse, stuff like that, it's lost its flavor. And the stuff Katy Perry was putting out before this, like, you know, the you're so gay, that stuff has aged even worse. So while I'm not looking to like erase Katy Perry's contributions to pop music, nothing like that, but like, you know, is it top 50, especially for me at this point? Not really. No. Spice Girls. Hell yeah. I Will Survive. Hell yeah. Generally speaking, kind of surprised there wasn't more disco on this list, which, I mean, speaking of Bee Gees, Staying Alive, was kind of worried when I didn't see this one earlier, but, you know, here it is. I guess we're getting a little more disco-centric in the top 50. Take on Me, Good Vibrations, Bad Romance, the bangers keep coming. Fleetwood Mac at 17, I feel like is indicative of just the huge resurgence they've been seeing as of late, because it's weird, being raised by boomers, I feel like, you know, when it comes to being exposed to their musical era as a child of boomers, you know, you hear Beatles, and certainly Fleetwood Mac was there. But I feel like Gen Z has embraced them in a really interesting way. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. This absolutely needed to be here. Super Bass, though, I mean, yeah, it's one of the biggest rap pop crossovers for sure. I think there are more interesting ones. And on top of it, I think some of the super hyper colorful aesthetics of this track have aged a little weirdly, even if it was kind of futuristic and unique in such a way that I kind of wish there were more songs like it, but still, like top 20 track, it's a pretty bold statement. Is this going to be the highest Prince placement? And if so, kind of surprising it would be Kiss, but like Prince in or around the top 10 is a necessity. Beatles, I Want to Hold Your Hand. Come on. There's better Beatles picks. And now that we're in the top 10, I have a feeling here, I'm guessing, Michael Jackson's got to be number one, and there's got to be like multiple Michael Jackson songs in the top 10. I mean, King of Pop, and we haven't seen as many Michael Jackson songs as I think we could have seen. California Love, amazing track. Love this track. One of my favorite tracks of the 90s as a kid. Call Me Maybe, amazing. Yep, here we go. Billie Jean. This cannot be the only MJ song in the top 10. Thriller is probably going to be coming after this. Like a Prayer, okay. All right, that works. A great ballad from Madonna. No! It's mom rock! It's wine mom rock. And as a pop rock song generally, it's just boring. The chorus goes for sure, but this track honestly suffers from pointless verse syndrome. The verses are not that good, melodically they're not that memorable, and they just kind of exist to put the audience into a lull so that when the chorus does pop in, it's like, whoa, something cool is happening. I feel like this song, along with many others, kind of like, you know, set this lower standard for pop songwriting that, again, you could put out a track and have it land in the top 10 and the verse is just like filler. Again, the hook goes, but top 5 is too damn high. I Want It That Way. It's cute. It's fine. My Girl, Temptations, classic cut, amazing. ABBA, Dancing Queen. MJ's got to be number one. Not Thriller? We went Whitney? I want to dance with somebody who loves me. Wowzers. According to Billboard, the king of pop has been dethroned, I suppose. Going hard in the paint for Whitney. I respect it. I mean, who in pop had pipes on Whitney's level? It's a great track, it's a great song, and it's not, you know, an obvious pick. It's a kind of dark horse number one. And I think I'm going to leave it there. Generally speaking, messed with the list. There are some positions and some choices that I was kind of disgusted with, but the vast majority of it, I think, just had great inclusions, covering a lot of different popular song bases, from hip hop to country and everything in between. The greats, for the most part, got respected. We had, some interesting reorientations going on, given current tastes in terms of like, you know, what older acts young people seem to be favoring as opposed to, you know, more millennial or boomer music listeners, Gen X music listeners. That led to some cool surprises. There were some more modern inclusions that I think were kind of mid. But yeah, this list was fun. This is a fun list. And I think I am going to leave it there. You guys are the best. Love you. What did you guys think of this? What you caught of the list in this video, and if you check it out for yourself down below. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, Billboard, Top 500 forever.